welcome one and all. My name is Tawess, and this is Stonework silicone molds from Green Stuff World. I've had these laying around for a while, and I decided to try them out now. Mostly because I had nothing better to do waiting for a package full of mix. It has now arrived, but when I started recording this was 2 days ago, so things happens. So what is the Stonework silicone molds then? Well, they are, as we'll see later, a prefab mold system for making terrain. This one makes a sort of gothic chapel church building thingy, or a wall. And, it works by having 3 sheets of high quality silicone molds that you simply pour a resin or plaster into, and then once dried or cured, you demold it and most likely repeat the process over again several times, because you only get 3 types of wall, 1 type of floor, and some roofing. So if you're building a building, there's some crenellations and other decorations and stuff. But if you're building a building, you're going to need a lot of castings or have several of these bought, and they're not cheap. Quality is good though, and it is, for all intents and purposes, a very good mold. It's stable, it's deep, it's easy to access, and has a lot of interesting bits and pieces in it. I just wish there were about 3 times as much of it. But as you can see here, you have the roof mold, the floor, and the flooring pieces mold, and the walls. So yeah, if you can't even get a house out of 1 casting. You need at least 2 castings to get a house out of it, and that's a very basic house. Now, who are these for then? That's a good question. I think these are best made for the sort of people who like to get a professional bit of scenery and are slightly adventurous and able to do crafting projects, but not good enough to make their own molds, or unwanting to make their own molds. And they have this plus, I think, 2 or 3 different other flavors. One dungeon, I think this one is another more wooden house, if I'm remembering correctly. Availability is spotty at best in most places, so if you want one of these, you either have to put yourself on a waiting list on some retailers, or you have to be lucky. Now, I'm basically just using your average household resin. It's nothing special, and it's tinted with a bit of grey to make it a bit less see-through. And as you can see, the difficult part is, of course, you have to balance things, how you fill them out, because it's very easy to overfill. Don't do that, it's very bad. So yeah, we try to spread things around here to not overfill the mold. It's easy because they're fairly shallow molds, especially the floor mold is very shallow. So you have to be careful, very careful. But, I mean, it is what it is. Not much you can say about that. I'm gonna go out and already say, are they worth it? Depends. Are you the sort of person who's able to do recasting? Then yes, they are very much worth it. Or if you're the kind of person who has a lot of time, because using resin, this takes about 2 to 3 days a cast, depending on how quick curing your resin is. But if you can recast, you can just make 1 mold and then you recast that, make 2, and just amplify it. Or cast 1 set and then make a big plate. There's nothing on here that says you can't do that. I guess it's technically not okay, but then again, as long as it's not selling it, should be okay. Now, as I said, this is 2 days later. We have now everything cured properly, and unfortunately there's no unpeeling porn, but that's what it is. And everything held its shape very well. There's no bowing or distorting, so that's always good. As I said, the mold is it's a good mold for what it is. It's just a bit too little. And as you can see, the details are great. We're going to have a little bit of bubbles in the wall pieces, but that is mostly up to me rushing the pour, not waiting for bubbles to evaporate on their own. But as you can see, very crisp, very clear details, very nice. A bit odd in design, but still fairly nice. And you can see on this one, no, we can't see the bubbles, but there's a bit of bubbling in there. But it's not too bad either way. It actually turns out pretty well in the end. Now I didn't pour everything because I just did a quick pour. It would take about, I would guess, roughly around 3 deciliters of resin to fill this up properly, and then you have a little bit to spare. These smaller pieces are designed to fit like you make columns or fit as joints between walls. And you're always going to have the issue that the backside of all these are of course shiny because they are just pure resin. As you can see, it fits your average tiny mech, but not your average big mech. And they are designed for 28mm figures, which you can see with this old school Space Marine. Fits perfectly. It has a slightly less good fit for the Primaris sized Marines, but still a fair fit. Now, I decided to just do a quick spray and brush on it, see if I can bring out the details a bit more. Just give me an idea of how well they take pigments and such. And you can see it takes it very well. The details are deep and strong enough that you have no problems getting things nice and settled. Oh well, I mean that's pretty much it. Get this if you like it. If not, I'll see you next time. Until then, stay safe, be kind, and do play fair. Bye.